Hello, welcome to another episode of the Horror Vision Horror Podcast. My name is Sean.
I'm Missy.
I'm Ray.
And I'm Tori.
And we are going to get into a movie that I have wanted to see for quite some time and was largely unavailable until recently. It hit Shudder. This is
I'm so excited.
Cemetery Man. Okay, so this is the 1994 Michele Soavi, who did The Church. You know, he's in Demons. He wrote with Argento, worked with Argento, and
Stage Fright. He worked with Joe D'Amato.
the night that we went to see The Bronx when I was in LA, I had also bought tickets. I had double booked, and we went to the Bronx, but I double booked. Ray, Jesus, and I were supposed to drive out to the Frida and see a double fucking feature that Cinematic Void programmed for January Giallo of Stage Fright and Cemetery Man. And I was like, I have to choose between these two things. I was anyway, so this is the first time I saw this movie. Now, Ray, you, the whole time I was in LA for a month, you were like, you know, I'd be like, hey, what are you doing? And you'd be like, you want to come over and watch Cemetery Man? Like you mentioned so many times, so I know you fucking love this movie.
I saw it back in the 90s, and I wanted to buy it, but it was out of print for like a while. Like it came, like I should have gotten it in the 90s when it was on DVD and just called it a day. But I was stupid and young and I didn't. And then it was out of print, and then I feel like a year and a half ago walking around inside of Book Again or Book Off, and walking through, and I was looking at the DVDs as I tend to do there. I don't know if you've ever been to the store, but they do kind of get some gems occasionally that you're like, hey, that's out of print. Holy shit. And I was walking through, and they had 2 copies of Cemetery Man. And I was like, oh shit. So I bought one, I brought it home, and I saw that it was on
It's on Shudder.
YouTube. It was on YouTube for a while.
Oh,
It
really?
was like, of course, somebody's like recorded version of it and like uploaded. But I remembered it from back then, and like I didn't know about giallos when I was younger. So when I first saw it, it had a like neat horror comedy, grimy quality to it. It kind of reminded me a little bit of like Dead Alive, but I liked it more than Dead Alive. And I remember just like being like just loving like the comedic elements of it and some of the absurd elements, and like how the ending kind of floors me. And like I'd never seen the opening all those years, but having finally watched that opening, like it does feel like it ties in a little bit more, but it's still like it's a real head scratcher. The ending still hits, and I'm just like, what the fuck? Um, but yeah, it's this weird ass movie. Like it kind of defies explanation when I try to describe it to people. But after you saw it, I forget what you said. You hit the nail on the head. I'll have to go back and look at our text message, because you said something and I was like, that's the best fucking summary of this movie I've ever heard. Oh, I found it. I found what you texted the group. If Tim Burton was Italian and came up in the Argento circle, and I was like, that's the best fucking summary for what this movie is that I've ever heard.
I was not prepared for how Tim Burton it was. It's very, very, but good. No,
and especially if you see his past work, you're like, oh, okay.
I wonder if this is Soavi like trying to be more well. It's not really an attempt at being commercial, or there wouldn't be that many tits in it.
Okay, but it is based off a book, which in turn, okay, you guys know who wrote it, right?
No.
So it's based off a book called Della Morte dell'Amore by Tiziano Scalvi. Who the fuck did Scalvi, or remember what book Scalvi wrote like 3 years after he wrote this one?
No.
Dylan Dog. So this is loosely an this is like the beginning of Dylan Dog. And well, like Rupert Everett, he used as the character inspiration for Dylan Dog. So if you go back and look at Dylan Dog, it looks a lot like your Rupert Everett in the movie. So, and I guess he's taken, I guess when he did a story for Dylan Dog, he reused part of Cemetery Man in it. So this is like the very beginning of the Dylan Dog character.
Okay.
So I don't know if I'd say really an adaptation of it, of Dylan Dog, but definitely like the beginnings of that character.
You know what? I was something that I didn't know this first time watching it, but I discovered later on that like in other parts of the world, this is just called Delamorte.
Yeah.
And it makes a lot of sense for the film and for the character, because this guy is, there's two things that he's obsessed with, and both of them are he's bad at in his life, unfortunately. Poor bastard. And that is death and love. And he can't master either. He's literally threatened by death, like, stay off of my territory, stop shooting these zombies. But it's his job, it's just what he has to do. And the poor son of a bitch, I empathize with him, because being single out here is rough, man. He can't get love. He's trying so hard, the poor son of a bitch. He just can't. He can't, and he keeps running into the same woman and 3 different women. It's the same person, and every time he's trying too hard, and it's just not working. He gets poor bastard. Oh my God, I feel so bad for him. Hey, you're really hot. Oh, well, we're at my husband's funeral. I wish you wouldn't talk to me that way. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry about that, but you're just so attractive. I think I'm in love with you. No, I can't. My husband is dead. All I think about is him.
Oh, but let me show you my ossuary. Oh, wait, you didn't say that. Here, let me just remove my knickers now.
Exactly. Hey, I'm kind of creepy. I like that kind of shit. Let's do it on top of his gravestone. Oh no, he's come back to kill me. Oh, damn it. Now you're dead.
But see, if you take away all that like dark humor and absurdity, that movie's fucking creepy. And it's about a fucking insane guy who can't find love, so it causes him to snap. And well,
but like, it's not just that. Like, he goes to really bad lengths to try and get love. Like the second one, he almost becomes himself, almost makes himself a eunuch to achieve her. I'm sorry, I'm pretty fucking single out here, ladies, if you're listening. But if you're any of you are interested in me, I am not going to try and snip my nuts for you. Yeah, that's a bridge too far.
You say that now.
Over that one.
Third date.
Missy, what did you think about I almost called it Dylan Dog. Delamorte. I mean, and obviously, let me just say that, Tori, you know, the whole idea that it's actually known throughout the world as Delamore, and here it's Cemetery Man. Doesn't it kind of feel like when they brought Phenomena over and called it Creepers?
And you're like
it's like for the Americans, we do a dumber title, like Cemetery Guy. There you go. Americans love cemeteries. You know, that's kind of how it feels. There.
Very true. Very true.
Like, why can't we call it Siam, not Thailand? Siam sounds so much cooler.
Missy, what'd you think of Cemetery Guy?
All right. I hadn't seen it in the 90s either. I didn't see it till a few years ago at a film fest. Well, probably more like 10 years now, but I saw it at a film fest with my cousin a while ago. And didn't remember it very well. But when I watched it the other night, I thought it was fun. I don't love it, but I don't hate it either. I mean, it was a fun film to watch. It's full of, you know, cool practical zombie gore, and you'll laugh a lot. I mean, Rupert Everett was good, and I love Nagi running around just screaming "yeah" at everybody. Like, it doesn't have a cohesive plot. I mean, I was laughing so much I didn't really care, and it was a good time. But why does he meet the same woman 3 times? They never give us any explanation. He just keeps meeting supposedly different women, but they're all the same girl, and then the same bad shit keeps happening.
Ooh, I almost want to go into that, but I want to hear what Tori has to say first, and then I'm going to add them.
Tori?
Okay.
Go, Tori, go.
This is my theory on seeing her the 3 times, right? Cemetery Boy is upset. He's guilty because he killed her. He fucking killed her after, he's banging her, when she arises the second time. That means the first time when she woke up and he shot her, he killed her.
Yeah.
So to me, it's his guilt.
Yep.
He keeps seeing her on every woman. And
also
him being so lonely and already he's on the edge and we're seeing his downfall, right? So to me, this madman has bonded with this woman. He's obsessed with her. He fucking accidentally kills her. So it's his guilt and what he deems as love, which is just his fucking obsession with her. That's why he keeps seeing her. And that's why he kind of snaps at the end and burns it down when he realizes all these women are a farce. You know what I mean? Everything bad happens. You find out to hook her. Oh, she's leaving me for someone else after I do all this for her. It's finally okay, the veil is off. She's not beautiful anymore. She's not worth it. Fuck it.
Right. Oh, I like that theory. That's a good theory.
A really interesting interpretation.
So they are all different women, but he sees them as being her.
Yeah, he's just fixated. That's why I think it's almost like this darker, happier, funnier, almost like Maniac. You know what I mean? This guy's fucking honestly.
Yes.
It is really funny.
Yes.
The absurdity of all the authority figures are all fucking dumb.
Mm-hmm.
It's about being lonely. He's telling the cops I fucking did it. I did it. And they're like, yeah, you can't do it. Ha 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 ha. Oh no, you're impotent. You know what I mean? He's screaming for fucking any kind of attention and nobody's giving it to him. And the only friend he has is Nagi. And then when Nagi talks at the end, is it okay, was Nagi really that mentally disabled the whole time? Or was he just not hearing him?
Oh my God, that is 100% it. Oh my God, it's so obvious.
No, but then at the end, he says he does the nya at the end, he can't talk anymore, and now Nagi talks.
Yeah, but I think that's because it's switched, and
right.
so. Oh so my
was God. He always the one who couldn't talk, and this was all in his head?
No, but he's been rendered that way because, for whatever reason, whether he's finally realized it or we're just seeing it, that was just his perception. Oh my God! So the whole movie is his fucking perception.
Yeah, and he talked to him the whole time. Remember, he would answer Nagi in these full-on sentences, yeah, no, do that. So maybe Nagi was talking, and like you said, it's his perspective, so he doesn't hear it. All he hears is yeah.
Oh my God!
That's brilliant, and you just made me like this movie a lot better than I did.
To add to that, I think besides the possibility that it's his guilt, I think it's just an obsessiveness with him. I think it's his. He's so desperate for love. He's so desperate to find this woman, and I think he projects every woman in looking like that woman, whether they look like that or not. They may. I think it's a thing of if you've ever all of us have been attracted to somebody, and we will then see the qualities of someone else that we liked in another person, and then we start to like them because of that. Sometimes
it's projecting your past relationships onto new relationships, and how that's not good. Exactly.
It's not good at all. But I think it's that level of desperation.
Exactly.
There's this terrible, terrible desperation about him.
Mm-hmm.
And to add to the thing about Nagi, it didn't hit me until thinking about the movie the other day, but like the fact that Nagi talks again at the end, like I think he could have very well been talking the entire time, but I think that it's also there's a certain happiness to Nagi's existence that he doesn't possess. Nagi has a little bit more of a simplicity to him, and I think that's genius in a way. And I don't know if there's that actual like. It's funny because I put it on, so I'm actually seeing the ending as we're talking right now. I don't know if that the bridge to nowhere actually is real, or it's just a metaphor for the fact that this character thinks that he can escape himself and escape his life by changing locations, and the answer is he can't.
Exactly.
He can't. He's gonna be the same miserable son of a bitch no matter where he goes.
And he doesn't know anything else but that world, that
life and death.
And think
love
like,
and death.
He had fucking death making fun of him. Like,
yeah.
So,
and that puppet was awesome.
It was really cool.
That whole transition.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that really struck me about this flick when I'm watching it, it's like, okay, so first, like, it starts with, he answers the phone, and he shoots the guy, and then he, like, I don't know when the epidemic started. I don't know if it's just here in this cemetery or if it's in other places. So I'm like, okay, so they're laying the foundation for the plot. No, not at all, right? Like, not at all. That's like the most incidental shit in the movie. And then really with the movie, at some point I was like, I feel like this is like a fucking rom-com that got like thrown into a blender with like a horror movie. It was like, what? It was so not anything I expected. But definitely, I just don't even know now. Like, I think you nailed it.
Yeah, I think so too.
But so what is that why everybody, oh yeah, we know about the cemetery. Yeah, the dead, because that's not real? Is none of that real?
See, I don't know, because the vibe I got from the movie is weird is normal.
Okay.
Everything, like anybody that was like an authority figure or a bureaucrat was a fucking idiot and didn't know what to do the whole time. But yeah, I even started to question at some point, but then I figured, no, were the zombies real? Was he just picturing all that in his head?
Mm-hmm.
But then I was thinking, okay, how would that explain like the biker and his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Unless he murdered her and just in his head, that's what he saw.
God, it's so fucking weird. You totally turned this movie on its head for me.
Mm-hmm. Same.
It has a real American Psycho quality in that, like, once it ends, you're just like sitting there going like, wait, did any of that happen? Or is that all in him? Like, what the fuck is going on?
I thought the same thing.
One of the effects that I love, and it's like I said, as we've been talking, I had it on in the background. I've been kind of rewatching it and playing it as we're talking. The biker zombie, that what's his name, Johnny or something.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love that moment. He's so cyberpunk, like he's so fused with his bike. He's got lights in his head. He's got bolts sticking out of his hand. He's so cyberpunk. It's so reminiscent of like
Nightmare Part 5, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, when it's the bike death.
Yeah, Dan gets molded into the bike.
That's one of the sickest deaths ever in Nightmare on Elm Street.
I was thinking of Tetsuo as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tetsuo the Iron Man.
Yeah, like it's so cyberpunk.
Body hammer.
Like it's so it's so like, what the hell is that? Like it's, oh man, entertaining as fuck though.
It is.
I remember seeing it before he like kind of his career kind of blossomed, and then I always felt bad for that actor.
Rupert
what's
Everett.
his name? I'm totally blank. Rupert Everett, because he was one of those actors very early on in the '90s who was like, "Yeah, I'm gay. I'm a gay man. This is who I am," and he got punished for it. he got punished for being an out actor in the 90s, and like his like career died because
No, he got punished, Ray, for doing that fucked up movie with Madonna. That's what he got punished for. It was
Wait, what
terrible.
What movie?
He did like a rom-com with Madonna. I'm just being a dick, but it was pretty bad. Madonna has like a British accent in it.
No, I don't disagree with that. Like, it's not a good movie. But like, no, he was being cast as like the lead in like rom-coms and things like that. And then he came out and said, well, I'm actually a gay man. And then suddenly they were like, oh, we can't cast him as the lead in rom-coms. That won't sell. People already know he's gay. And then it kind of killed his career. And I was always like, the fuck, man? Like, I don't care that he's gay. I believe he's straight while he's playing these characters. There was never a moment while I was watching Cemetery Man in the 90s or like any of the other films I saw besides My Best Friend's Wedding where I thought this is a gay guy on screen. Like I just never thought. And it always bothered me how like his career pretty much got destroyed by being an out gay man in the 90s. So
he is fine.
He's not a bad looking man. He is not a bad looking man at all. Which is the one thing I think I always had a problem with this movie, which was I was like, if I'm supposed to believe that this guy's having trouble finding a girl, can you get someone uglier, please?
Yeah, but he's still weird and awkward, and he doesn't leave the cemetery.
That's true.
I mean, that's true. But I mean, all he has to do is find himself a good goth girl, and he's good. He's set.
Let me ask you this. Based on Tori, what you said, is it possible? Ooh, this is juicy.
Uh-oh. Oh.
Is it possible that Nagi is actually the cemetery man and Rupert Everett is the like kind of dumb, like as in physically disabled dumb?
Mm-hmm.
It could be.
Like, so Nagi's the one, it's really Nagi is like, so in other words, if you were to visually swap the actor that plays Nagi and the actor that plays, and Rupert Everett, right? So you've got Francois Haji Lazaro is Nagi and Rupert Everett is Cemetery Boy. So if you switch them, then it makes more sense that Nagi can't find love and that Rupert Everett couldn't because he's just like disabled. And then it gets switched at the end. I don't know. Tori, your theory has just really set my mind ablaze in a way.
Yeah, me too. Because a lot of the things that that weren't tracking right, that just felt like the plot didn't really make sense, was I wasn't realizing it that yes, we're seeing it all from his perspective, but he's an unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So his perspective is not always true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was taking it for true, but now I think most of it either was a delusion or it's skewed in some way.
Exactly.
But we're seeing what he's projecting, but it's not true.
Yeah.
And when I watched it before, I mean, I see him and he's hunting, in the beginning he's hunting zombies and stuff. And I guess I'm just thinking, all right, he's like Ash or, someone.
Yeah.
He's a monster hunter. I believe him. I trust that character. And then what was happening wasn't making sense.
And initially, too, he comes off as very confident. Like that opening shot where they're shooting, he's,
Yep.
cool
yeah, the opening is very cool.
So he's definitely, like you're saying, he's setting himself up almost to be this like hero good guy. Like, look what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm defending the cemetery.
But then as we continue seeing it from his perspective, we're realizing everything he's telling us isn't true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Or
it's a narcissistic self-delusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even listen to him when you start to hear his narration, like his voiceover, it's you're like, oh shit, homie is spiraling. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I would definitely rename this Italian American Psycho with zombies.
Nice.
And I love the headless zombie girl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Isn't that a great character?
She's fucking great.
And it's so sweet. They're like, love is so sweet and pure. And then you're like, her fucking head.
It is by comparison to Francesco and his like hump fests. Like he's not. He doesn't like. There's no. You don't even. You don't even worry. You don't even worry about a moment where you're gonna cut to a scene where Nagi's humping the headless. This.
Oh, she also doesn't have a body though.
Because it's
She's
not gonna
just a head.
happen. You're just like, oh, yeah.
That won't stop a dude missing.
Like, exactly.
I was gonna say that didn't stop the killer in High Tension.
No, it sure didn't. But I mean, he's not gonna hump
I just
the
spit my
head.
water.
He's just like, no, I'm gonna play my music. She's gonna sing along. It's gonna be a great time. It's fun. I'm happy.
Yeah, they're very
Like,
sweet
it's so
together.
wholesome.
Right? It's so
Right. And then
Yeah.
all the stuff with the cemetery guy, like he's supposedly in love with these 3 women, but he doesn't know them at all. Like they just meet and then they have sex and then they die.
And he changes himself for these women to what they want, and it doesn't work out.
I was so confused. I thought I missed something when it was going to that part where he's like going to see the doctor and stuff. I thought I missed something and I backed it up thinking I faded out. I didn't. I'm like, all right, I'm really confused.
Well, and then like her whole thing, like, oh, but he raped me. But then the second time
But
it was
like
good. You know, it's like,
I
what
liked
the
it. Yeah.
fuck is happening right now? Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, and if you think about the how his the concept of love that he's experiencing transitions from like all I want is to be with her physically. Now I'm in love with her. Okay, I've been with her physically. Now she doesn't want a man that can be physical, so I'll become a man that's not physical. To like, oh, I can be physical with her all the time, but I have to pay her. Oh man, this just became a bummer. Like what? Like how do you transition from being the guy who was like, all I want is physical, to like, no, now I just want to. Now I just want like, I don't know, like he somehow becomes like something that wants something more emotional, but at the same time, I guess the answer to this is to snip himself.
Well, Ray, you got to remember though what Missy said. He's an unreliable source, so we're never sure about what he really wants, and I don't think he knows
or what really happened.
Exactly.
He doesn't know.
Or he's someone who's relaying to us the relationship in a way that makes him seem favorable. Absolutely.
Exactly.
I will say I enjoyed this flick. I think, I don't know, it's definitely not going to be for everybody, but I feel like there's enough momentum behind it as a historical like anomaly that I feel like, you know, people, I think more people will like it than won't like it. And this is somebody, like, I didn't love it, like Missy said. I by no, although I really want to watch it again now that, like, Tori has said that.
Me too.
You know?
Me too.
I think I'll like it better, but I still don't think it's not something I'd own.
Too.
But, you know, I mean, I feel like it's worth seeing because I've heard about it so much and now I know what people were talking about. And it's part of a greater conversation of the history of horror. You know, I'm glad it's available.
That is a great way of putting it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it.
And
to me, I understand exactly what you're saying, because to me, it's always fit into a weird niche of like films, like, and it might be because it was just the time period that I saw in, but like the movie The Frighteners, that is like not classical horror, but
that's such a good movie.
It's such a great film, and you got to get people in front of it to see it, and then they're like, "Oh wow, this is a great movie. This is weird," and then you're like, "It's Jackson. Check it out." Like, you know, it's worth watching. Like, I saw it in the theaters, and like, I was just like, "Wow," and it just fits in this period of like people who were making movies that were like part of the genre of horror, but still something a little bit outside of it.
Yeah, it's a good way to say it.
And besides the story, like, it's a beautiful fucking movie. Like the set designs, all of the lighting, the ossuary, there's a few shots like when he's comforting Nagi after they they killed his girlfriend again, like them on the hill. Like that's such a beautiful shot, and there's some cool weird angles they do.
Yeah, there's definitely that initial scene with the first woman, like where they're having sex in the graveyard. There's that shot of them like with the gravestone in the background or above them. I feel like I've seen that 1,000 times, whether or not it was in relation to this movie. It must have been, but it's a very iconic shot, and I feel like it's been imitated a lot.
Oh yeah, or even her, like when she has like the vines and she's kind of half decaying.
Dude, I was gonna say the zombie designs are so cool.
Yeah,
pops up on top.
Like they're so inventive. They're the ones with the shit growing out of them, like the vines and stuff. It's so cool.
Well, look who did the movie.
Times.
Like, come on, do you expect anything less? Like, I love this man. Look at his lineage.
Yeah, and this is in a way the most pop that the Italian shit got, I feel like. And
probably.
And somehow it still ended up getting buried, which is weird to me. I think this movie actually, I think we are late doing this episode. Well, not late, but like I think that it's kind of availability now, especially if somebody picks up the rights and releases a DVD, or just if it remains on Shudder long enough. I feel like this is going to make a resurgence and be kind of claim its proper place in the historical conversation, which it's been unable to do because it's been so long
unavailable,
out of print, right? So I think that's pretty cool. And yeah, like Tori, the lineage, I mean, Argento is really like there's a conversation that's just gaining momentum with Argento, and I feel like maybe that's what's bringing all this other stuff up, for the people that work with him. But I don't know. I think it's cool.
And Joe D'Amato. I mean, he worked with him too. We can't
that's good
deny
point.
that. Like he started with him and then went to Argento.
Good point.
But I love the Italians. I love your horror movies.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make out with all of them. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
The American wants to make out with the Italy.
I'm sorry, Sean. I couldn't understand you. Use your hand.
Okay. Well, that's Cemetery Man, 1994.
You said it right.
I did. I had to.
Cemetery Adolescent.
There you go. Oh, that's a good band name. No, actually, it's not.
Or Delamorte for the rest of the world.
Yes.
Graveyard.
Yeah.
Graveyard Man.
It's too many syllables for the Americans. Call it a dead guy, cemetery guy. They like that. It's stupid. So what have you all been watching? Tori, talk about something you've seen.
Yay. Well, the only new thing I've watched so far is Coherence.
Okay.
It's on Tubi. It's on the Tubi. Tubi sponsors.
Tubes.
I love it. Tubi, I love you so much. I really do. They got some great stuff on there.
They do. They have tons of horror on there too.
Yeah, and some kind of like hard to find stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, sponsors.
Yeah, right.
But anywho,
I'm pretty sure that's where I saw what is it called? I Spit on Your Grave, the original.
Ugh.
Finally.
I Spit on Your Grave, right? No, I'm just kidding. That was terrible. Actually, my God, I'm so sorry. That was terrible. I would never spit on your grave.
Dark.
So
unless you paid him extra.
Coherence is the one. This was on Shudder forever, and I remember I watched it a couple years ago and really liked it. But it's like a kind of a puzzle box movie, right?
Oh, for sure. And I guess it's more sci-fi thriller than anything, right? We're just gonna push it in there. We're gonna make it fit. But pretty much, it's 8 friends gather for a dinner, and shit just starts getting weird. Oh, and there's a comet passing over Earth. That's all. And they're all just and shit just gets weird. A lot of the movie was actually improv'd.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Right. So especially that's cool going in watching it. And I think that's interesting if you go back and rewatch. But pretty much the director, I think, gave them all like a little paragraph about their character and what their objective was for that day of shooting. So it was really interesting. But I really don't want to give anything away.
Okay.
But weird shit just starts happening. And it's like a buildup.
Like going blind? Because I've never heard of this movie.
I would go in blind. I think it's a little bit more fun that way.
Yeah, I agree.
I usually try to.
But yeah, just shit gets weird. And at some point, it actually is pretty creepy. Like some of the stuff that was going on. It kind of starts it picks up pretty quickly. Maybe like 15 minutes within the movie, like shit starts happening. So you're kind of on edge the whole time.
Remind me, what is it? So they gather for the dinner, and is it the power goes out and then?
Yeah, that's the first thing, is the power goes out.
But then, so they I'm trying to dance around this, and I really don't think I can spoil it because I don't remember that much, but something happens and they're concerned about leaving where they are for their safety, but then some of them have to leave. And then after that happens is when stuff gets really fucking weird, right?
Yeah, it gets really weird. And then it what I like to with that, and I'm not giving anything away, it makes the friend group suspicious of each other because they start not trusting each other just because of what's going on and what starts happening. You even question as a viewer, like what's going on or who you even trust with your eyes. That's all I'm going to say. Just watch the rest. It was really, really good. You could tell it was like, and not in a bad way. It was a like small budget, and they fucking make it work so well. Yeah. They really do.
James Ward Burkett is the director, and I swear I feel like I know his name, but he doesn't have. I must just know his name from this movie because he, like, as director, there's not a lot of stuff on his IMDb. So something called Shatter Belt, 4 episodes of just Pirates of the Caribbean, like a short. Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like I know the name, so I guess it's from this. But this movie was a movie I heard a lot of people talk about for years, and it's kind of in hushed tones, and I see why. You're right. Like you don't want to give anything away, but you want people to give it a shot. I do think if you give this movie a shot, I think within 15 minutes you'll be in, if I remember correctly. Like it's very quickly kind of seduces you, and once you're in, you're not getting out till it's over because it becomes a very much gotta see. Like, wait, like Tori said, hold on. I thought this, so now, okay, I don't know if anything I thought before is actually what I thought that it was.
And I was even confused at one point. I'm like, am I a fucking idiot watching this movie? Is this something like too arty for me and it's going over my head? And no, come to find out, no, that's just the way that they're doing the movie. But it's really interesting.
Agreed. It's not arty.
Sounds cool.
It's just it's not arty. It's intellectual, which some people will just be like, "Oh, that's just a fancy way of saying arty." But I mean, yeah. Well,
it just made me like rethink everything. I don't know. Very interesting. Please go into it blind, you guys, and just check it out.
And you said it's called Coherent?
Yeah.
Coherence.
Coherence on Tubi.
Yeah.
On the Tubies.
On the Tubi.
The tube.
The Tubi.
Ray, what have you seen, my friend?
The Eyes of Ray.
Let me think here for just a second. I will go with something that's horror adjunct, which I hadn't seen in years, and that was Joe Bob had his very violent Valentine, and the first movie was Freeway, which I have not seen in many, many years.
So good.
And I liked it a lot more than when I saw it the first time. I didn't realize the whole. It's the director's version of
Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood. Because I honestly, when it was on cable, I caught it like 5 to 10 minutes in. So I I never saw the opening crawl. I kind of never saw. I think the earliest I kept catching it on cable was the boyfriend getting murdered just after she leaves town.
Mm-hmm.
Spoiler.
And like
I'm joking.
Yeah,
it's like a 30-year-old
movie. Yeah, exactly. Oh, fucking great, Ray. But yeah, it is like a 30-year-old movie. But no, like there was stuff in it that I was like, I don't know. Maybe I just thought it was like a trashy movie before, but I feel like that's kind of the point of it now. Like it's clearly like the director trying to make something that's sleazy and like reminiscent of like drive-in, like Second Street kind of cinema, and like so he's doing it on purpose. Um, and I enjoy it for what it is, and like especially Joe Bob mentioning that like the director intentionally did things that like he made it based on people he like he grew up knowing, and so it's a little bit of like reminiscent of like Waters and his like love of sleaze and like love of sleazy people. So like I knowing that I was like, oh, okay, then I kind of can appreciate what he's doing more. And like one of the things that I discovered on this viewing of it that I didn't know was the director Matthew Bright is someone I know from something else, and that is Matthew Bright was part of the movie Forbidden Zone. He played a big part in the movie Forbidden Zone from the early like 82, 81 with Boingo Boingo. And he was like if I remember correctly, 2 or 3 different characters in the movie. One of them was this character they called Chicken Boy, and another one was the Chicken Boy's twin sister, who was only a sister in the sense that she was transsexual, so it was actually a male, but identified as a female, which was super progressive for that time.
Yeah,
but like I like knowing that I was like, oh my god, he's that fucking guy! Wow, and knowing that he went on to make movies is kind of interesting. And like I didn't even know. I thought that the second Freeway movie was made by someone else, kind of based on the success of the original. Then I found that he actually was the director of the second too. Makes me want to go give that one a rewatch. I haven't seen that one in years, but it's fucking as bonkers as that first one is. But man, there's stuff in there that I was like, I don't know, like knowing that was fucking Reese Witherspoon, Oscar nominated, heavily acclaimed Reese Witherspoon playing this like wayward teenager who like is quickly will say the word fuck as be sugary sweet in the next scene. Like she's just, and she actually is actually kind of impressive in the film. And like no, like I just gained more respect for the movie than I had when I first saw it. Like I just thought it was just trashy movie being trashy for no other purpose than to be trashy, which it kind of is. And but I felt like he do it. I don't know. Maybe back in the 90s, I thought that he was trying to do like a Maury Povich kind of movie, and instead he's not. He's just making something that he appreciates, and like it's oddly, I think the time period kind of tainted a little bit for me. But I enjoyed it more the second time around.
It's a modern trashy version of a fairy tale. And it's so indicative of that time period. Like it reminds me so much of like era Rocky and Harmony Korine movies back then, and just something that you probably couldn't do now and have such a distinct style, and they're just so kind of outlandish in this great fucking way.
Yeah, I had never seen it before until Joe Bob showed it, and I thought it was a real good time. It was not what I was expecting at all. It's like the weirdest role I've ever seen Kiefer Sutherland in.
Or Brooke Shields.
Oh yeah, that was her.
Yeah, Brooke Shields.
Man, I
So you,
rented
oh
that
man,
movie from Blockbuster like back in the day.
Oh wow.
oh nice.
Yeah.
That was a
We
straight
could
cable
rent
movie for
everything.
me.
Oh yeah. Oh, for
It
sure.
was straight cable because it was on all the fucking time. So I
That's a
saw it
USA
simply
Up All
because
Night.
it was just something that could be avoided because cable just ran it because it was probably cheap for them to buy. So
Well, that's probably also why you didn't take to it, is because you were overexposed to it, and being that it's so trashy, and if you're seeing it in segments, I could see it would annoy. I don't. That's the first time I've seen it. I tried to watch it a couple times before that since it hit Shudder and fell asleep, not because of the movie, just because it's like a late. I put it on late and fell asleep. I didn't like it, but here's what I didn't like about it: the opening. It literally opens with her in the classroom standing up trying to read Cat, the cat drinks milk.
oh
And
yeah.
she's like, cat, cat, cat. It's so over. That scene is so overdone. It feels like a Saturday Night Live skit. And the rest of the movie could not recover from that for me. So I think if I had not seen that, I would have been able to contextualize it with when it was made, this and that, and be fine with it. But I just thought that scene was so it's just bad. It was just a bad scene, so it never recovered. Never recovered. Kirsten really liked it. Also, like, what's with the and I know this was a style. Like the '90s seems so dated to me now, and that style of her with the ponytail, but also like the crop top with like the white jockey shorts like sticking up above her
Oh.
jean line. Like I just like, oh, let's not remind. But of course, it was made at that time, right? So it's like,
yeah.
But dude, that's all back in fashion.
oh, don't tell me this shit.
I swear to God, that's all in
Oh,
fashion. It's
wow,
all back in style. Yep.
wow.
Well,
Every
because she's
20
also
years, you
supposed to
guys.
be.
Every 20 years, we have a
Yeah,
cycle.
You're not wrong on that.
you're not
Well,
wrong.
she's also supposed to be a little bit like.
She's trailer trash.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's trailer trash.
You
She's also
think?
a little bit. She's also a little bit of like white chola and shit like that. So it kind of makes sense. Like
You've obviously never met that white girl that grew up in the hood.
that's LA fashion right there. Like even the way the boyfriends dress and everything, like that's LA fashion in the '90s. Like that's like uh... the only thing that's missing is for her to have a old script tattoo somewhere on her body. Like, oh, you know what? So that means that you two, like you and Missy, have probably never seen the second one, then, huh?
No.
Oh shit!
Diary of a
Give
Trick
that,
Baby.
give that a fucking watch.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'll wait.
Oh,
I'll wait
shit.
till my second viewing of Freeway. If it opens up like it did for you upon my second viewing in 20 years, then maybe I'll put on Confessions of a Trick Baby. But I mean, nothing against Matthew Bright. I think it's a very well done movie. I just, except for that opening scene, I just didn't like that. I just thought it was like, wow, yeah, I don't know. I understood what he was going for, but I don't know. I mean, Missy, you never saw it before. You liked it. Is there anything like, I don't know, what did you like about it?
It just had a really dark sense of humor. And I usually respond to that. I don't know. It seemed like a snarky social commentary paired with a really weird modern telling of a fairy tale, and that I thought that was a pretty cool way to tell the story. And the performances were good.
Yeah.
I mean, all the shit that goes down with Kiefer Sutherland and everything, it surprised me a couple times. It didn't go where I thought it was going to go, and it kept making me laugh.
Yeah, the whole like courtroom scene when he walks in.
Yeah, that shit was hysterical.
That was actually really funny.
And I think part of what works for me too with it is that they did have all these big actors playing these weird roles.
Yeah.
Like Kiefer Sutherland and Brooke Shields and Reese Witherspoon. And it was different sides of these actors you hadn't seen before.
Yeah. Well, Reese wasn't big at that time. I say that like I know her. Oh, yeah, me and Reese.
Well, yeah, but I didn't see it then.
Right.
I saw it now. And I mean, I don't watch her romantic comedies and whatnot. I know who she is. I've seen, And this is not what I would expect from her. So, I mean, I thought it was pretty cool. She's a better actress than I thought she was.
Super early on in her career.
I really like Dan Hedaya. So he was one of the two cops. He's great in everything. He was great in it. And then the other cop, Wolfgang Bodison, he was fucking great too. Like the scene where she just totally like tunes him up. I was like, what?
Oh, that has like weird social commentary to it, that scene, because there's that whole thing where
yes.
She pisses him off, she then like kicks his ass, and then she starts just throwing out all these racial slurs at him, all these nasty things. And then he like weirdly there's that moment where they're investigating her more after she's escaped and they're trying to find her. And they get to the classroom and he sees the picture of the boyfriend Motor, and he's like, wait a minute, he's black. And like he suddenly forgives her for having said all that nasty shit to him. And he's like, oh, she didn't mean it. She likes black people. Like it's such a weird moment in that movie.
It's pretty weird.
I love it. It stuck with me the first time I saw the movie that like he was like weirdly like, oh, she just did it to piss me off. I thought she was racist. Like it's such a weird moment in that film.
It was pretty weird.
Well, it's that whole thing too, Ray, where it's like, oh no, it's not racist. I have a black friend. I can say it. It's fine.
Exactly. But it's weird that the black character forgives her for it. He's like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, maybe it's because she didn't play the card. You know, she did. I don't know. Anyway, Missy, what have you seen recently?
Well, right before we started recording, I watched the movie Candy Corn. From 2019. It's on Prime. It's pretty low budget. It was written and directed by Josh Hasty, and I mean, it's a relatively stereotypical slasher plot. It happens on Halloween. A bunch of bullies are, fucking around and picking on this like mentally handicapped kid. They accidentally kill him, and he gets resurrected from the dead with magic, and now he's wearing a shrunken head mask and killing people and getting revenge.
Oh, wow.
The effects are all practical. It's got lots of spine ripping and arm ripping, and it's pretty great. And the sheriff is Courtney Gaines, Malachi from Children of the Corn.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it is.
And it's also PJ Souls is the receptionist dispatcher lady, and Tony Todd is in it too.
Oh wow.
I mean, it's not gonna surprise you. Like it's pretty
paint by numbers slasher.
But if you like slashers, you like practical effects, and I mean, I'm a gorehound. This was a good time. And it would fit real nicely into like 31 Days of Halloween and stuff like that too, because it's happened on Halloween.
A couple of years ago during Halloween, and it's a good time. I second the motion with Missy. It's it definitely wears its low budget on its shirt sleeve, but it's a good movie. It's entertaining. Like it's better than some things that I've seen like that are super low budget and people tend to watch a lot of, like Joe Bob didn't he show Thanksgiving one time?
Yeah,
and I was shocked that people continue to watch it. I was like, God, this is fucking bad. Whereas I don't know, this is at least somewhat good. Like the kills are good and it's entertaining. Like, yeah,
it's low budget, but they do a lot with what they have, and the gore looks good. Like the practical effects look good. It's a fun slasher movie.
It is a fun slasher movie. And you root for the slasher.
Yeah, because pretty much all the people they're all unlikable except the sheriff. The sheriff's okay, but everybody else sucks. So you're rooting for the slasher, and it's just kind of a down and dirty slasher movie. It's not real comical or anything, but I like it.
See, I get Candy Corn and The Barn always confused, but I dug The Barn. The Barn was cool.
Okay. Well, this one came out right around it came out at the same time as Haunt. Like, I feel like I kept seeing ads at the same time. And I always meant to check this out and forgot about it. Probably because I saw Haunt and that stole my attention then, because that one's fucking wicked.
Well, also Haunt gets a lot of mentions, and I don't feel like Candy Corn does, right? So it's like I knew when you mentioned this, I knew I'd heard of it, but I didn't know if it was new, if it was 30 years old. Like I don't feel like there's a conversation currently really raging about it, and you know. So I'm glad that you brought it up.
It's enjoyable.
Haunt's I'm glad that you brought it up. Maybe people need to be talking about it.
If you like slasher movies, and you're gonna enjoy this.
I will definitely slot that into my 31 Days of Halloween. So, because this feels like something, like sometimes I go with standbys just because I'm like, there's like a particular thing that I want for this month, but I don't always know, like they don't always come to mind, right? So this is perfect. I just opened IMDb and I can tell you that the real horror is streaming on that now. This Is Me, a love story, the Jennifer Lopez movie. So I'm going to suggest we watch this. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'd literally rather take my eyes out with a spork.
Find my tickets in my purse.
And you're listening to the last episode of the Horror Vision. It's been fun.
So I recently, it was like 2 weeks ago, I threw on this movie. I don't even know why. You know, a lot of times I'm like flipping. And so sometimes I'll just be like, you know what? I'm just picking this one right now because it's ridiculous. So I watched. Do that too. I mean, it's a paradox of choice, right? I watched Bad Girl Boogie, and it was like the day or right around the day or the week that it hit Shudder. I knew nothing about it. This is directed by Alice Mayo McKay, written by Alice and Benjamin Powell Robinson. I knew nothing about this, okay? I found out subsequently that, because I was like, I feel like I read something about this, and I had actually read about Alice's other movie. Their other movie is So Vamp, which I know, Ray, you saw. It was not on my radar at all as far as like something I wanted to see. But Bad Girl Boogie, dude, so it starts out where it's like, I feel like it's in Ireland. It's these like three kids, and they break into this house of this creepy old man that lived in their neighborhood that was supposedly into black magic. And they're going to do this ritual. So they're like, there's a boy and two girls, and the guy is just a fucking dick. And he's like telling them, oh, draw the circle and do this and light the candles. And he's just acting like he's hot shit. And the one girl finds this mask that belonged to the guy that lived there, puts it on, and then fucking slaughters everybody. And then the mask comes off and it falls away. And then it says like many Halloweens later. And it jumps, and this kid picks it up and puts it on. And then it's like the same thing. It's like the mask takes them over, and he kills his therapist. And it's like insane. This killing, I was like, dude, this is like straight up video nasty territory, because it's shot. It looks like it's shot on film. And I think it was, I don't remember, but it's got a grainy, low budget quality, but good, like not in a regional way. But then the weird thing was, I'm like, okay, so now we're settling in the movie. Then like that scene ends after he kills a therapist. And I want to say he like removes her brain. He like cuts her open right outside of her fucking office and like literally like pulls her fucking brain out. And then the credits start, and then we go to totally other characters. And I was like, wait,
what?
Like what is happening right now? And you follow this group of friends, and one of them is killed, and then the others are like trying to figure out who did it. And then there's like somebody that knew the person that killed their therapist, many years before. And it was just really fucking good. It was really well done, like the best kind of low budget movie. It had this band, Tears for the Dying. They play a couple times, and their music's all over the soundtrack. It's a very like kind of a rudimentary post-punk death rock kind of band. really cool stuff and just adds to the kind of grind because these are like total like post-punk, gutter punk kind of kids. And I don't know, I just really like it. I would definitely recommend everybody give it a shot. It was just it was really cool. And yeah, I don't know. I'm the so Vamp thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's the vampire thing. And I'm just like, I don't know. It doesn't sound like my thing, but I liked this movie so much. And they have other movies, so I'm like, I want to see something else. So I may watch that. But yeah, so that's Bad Girl Boogie, and it is on Shudder. Tori, got another one?
Just my True Detective, and that's too much.
So just in a nutshell, how did you feel about True Detectives? Did you do are you I'm learning there's a lot of vitriol for Night Country. I mean, I've seen multiple people have made the statement, which is I don't believe from any. I mean, your taste is your taste. I'm not going to argue with anybody, but when I keep seeing this is the worst season of this show yet, I'm like,
no, it's not. They apparently did not watch season 2.
I'm like, I don't give a like I don't care if you hate it, but it is not worse than season 2. So
no,
like
season 2 is unwatchable.
But what did you?
Can you see the look of shock on my face?
Yeah.
Really? There's people that are saying that?
Yeah, like a lot of people.
Yeah. It's very divided. Like people either love it or they hated it.
But even if you hate it, it's not worse than that. But Tori, what did you think?
I really liked it. It's definitely the most like happy ending of any of the seasons.
That's true.
And the fucking point is like we're not going to find out. Like people are pissed because they want a fucking explanation. The whole fucking point, especially like if you go back and rewatch it, is that's part of it. That's the background. We're not going to find out the spiral. We're not meant to. You know what I mean? We're not meant to like figure all a Tuttle out. It's just not going to fucking happen. So like, be happy with what they're giving us and make up your own goddamn story, because that's better.
Yeah, and I mean, really, like
use your imagination a little bit.
But honestly, you guys heard it got picked up already for the 5th season, and Issa Lopez is gonna she's gonna showrun it.
Yeah,
but like to me, like, oh no, I gotta stop now because I'm gonna keep going.
No, go to you. Are you
happy?
Go. Are you happy with that decision, or are you not happy with that decision?
No, I'm really excited. I want to see what she does with it. I loved her inspirations for Night Country. It's claustrophobic, but like,
yes,
I think I'm just more pissed at like people's like really super negative reaction to it. Like they wanted, I don't know if people assumed like everything was going to be tied up at the end, like with the whole universe of True Detective. I think that's what people were maybe, we're going to figure it all out. We're going to take down the total, all of it. That's not the point. To me, the point of the show is just to show like a tiny victory for good in an evil fucking world.
Yeah, well said. The spiral is a shape that recurs through nature, and it's a mystery. What is True Detective? A mystery. And I thought they just did a really good job doing that, I thought.
That whole myth to me, it takes on whoever the believer is. So like in the first season with the fucking family, they turned it into evil, where like the women, you know, in Night Country are talking about, oh, it's older than us, and they use it, but it's not necessarily in this like black magic. Well, they do mention it was black magic, but it's not as like, I don't know, sinister to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. First of all, I'm a little bit shocked that because I really liked it. I'm super happy that Issa Lopez is going to get more work because I fucking love Tigers Are Not Afraid.
Yeah, buddy.
Glad she's finally getting more work. I'm glad that somebody gave her the show. I thought it was excellent. Like, if anything, I could have the sex I thought was a little bit rough at some points. Then at some point, like I was like 3 or 4 episodes in, and I was like, okay, I get it. The point is that these two, they don't really get close to anybody, and that's like the only way that they do get close to anybody.
what else are you gonna do 30 days a night?
Yeah.
Come on. You're gonna eat and you're gonna have sex. That's all you're gonna do.
I really liked it. I liked the mystery of it. I was honestly a little disappointed by how much it did tie things up. Like I was like kind of like shocked that they went there with the women and like that whole explanation. I kind of just wanted it to just be like never answered. But I was okay with that still. I like the fact that we did. I wanted a little bit more mystery. Um, I would have not minded a little bit more of a commitment to the supernatural. Uh, it there was certainly that. There was certainly the ghosts and things like that. Um, but it does play into her style of magical realism.
Yeah.
But I really liked it. I thought it was fantastic. Like I liked both the leads. I thought they did a great job. I like the ambiguity of the ending because my father, the moment we finished watching it, looked at my mother and I and said, "Wait, so is that character dead?" And I thought, but I love the ambiguity of that. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I really like it too.
And you know what is it that ties it into True Detective? It's the father. Like I have known there's been series.
That's where Rustin grew up.
Yeah, well, he says he went back to Alaska.
Yeah, he goes back to Alaska for 8 years.
Yeah.
He grew up there. He left, and then he comes back for 8.
There has been other successful TV movie series that have had less fucking ties between the movies than that,
Yeah.
and I'm like, that's what ties it in. Like that at least ties it in more than some of the other series, like some of the other seasons. I didn't even bother with 2.
Time is a Flat Circle. That's all season 3 tying into it.
And season 1. I saw a lot of people complaining about that in particular, but I don't know. What I mean,
I liked it.
I did too. But you know, you like what you like. I mean, and I was just very happy because you know we started doing Murder Board. The first episode, first thing out of my mouth was, "I think this is a cursed,
one of us liked the first episode.
cursed brand," and I was proven wrong. So I will tell you, I hope Issa Lopez, as much as I want to see more of these characters, I hope she does something different. I just really like her. I really like her MO, and great. I'm glad she's doing this. Like, as long as she's putting stuff into the world, I'm happy. So
I'm glad she got signed for another season. I'm looking forward to that. I think she did a great job, and I like the way it ended. I think she answered the questions that needed to be answered and left open the ones that I don't want to know answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's poor True Detective just suffers too from having such a solid first season. It's sad because even if it is good after the first season, you're like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's not as good.
Well, I mean, I definitely thought this had the better ending than this first season, but I won't belabor that point. Ray.
Yeah, I did give Vamp a rewatch because Joe Bob showed it. I mentioned it before, like I think maybe during COVID I mentioned it because I think I found it on during COVID. I originally, the reason I found it was because I'm totally blanking on the name of this actor. Give me a moment. I will look it up. The guy who plays who played Long Duck Dong in 16 Candles.
Gere Watanabe.
Gere Watanabe. That there was this documentary and Gere Watanabe was on it, and he mentioned how much he liked working on this film simply because he went in and auditioned for it, and it was one of the few things that he remembers from the 80s where he went in for an audition and he got it, and it, like, his culture, his race had nothing to do with the character. It was just, we just need this guy. We just need you to come in. We just need somebody to play this role. And they were like, yeah, you're great. We'd love for you to come in and do the movie. And like, he loved the fact that he got to play this character, and like his race, him being Asian, had nothing to do with it because everything else he had done in the 80s, like 16 Candles, Gung Ho, like it was heavily reliant on what his face looked like, what his racial background was. And for this movie, he was like, no, I was just some dude. I was just a dude who was lonely, who wanted to make friends, and went with these guys to a strip club. And he was like, and it was a fun movie to make. And I'm like, oh, I gotta check this out. And I remember seeing the posters of it when I was a kid and wanting to watch it. And like, I didn't know it was a horror comedy before I started watching it, but man, it's a lot of fun. And like, I know people would probably dislike some of the things, like Joe Bob picked apart the fact that, like, there's that whole scene where they're in the diner, and I forget the name of that, like that very pale like character comes after them, the albino. But I don't mind that. I don't mind it at all. That little divergence. And before they get to the club, and then that character reoccurring and showing up and bothering them. I think it's a lot of fun. Like, I think it's a good time movie, and I think it's a great watch. Like, it has great little jokes in it, and like there's little things that you find out that, like, Grace Jones's makeup was all done by Keith Haring, like the famous artist Keith Haring, and it was because he was a friend of hers and he'd done that for her. She, like, apparently was like, I want you to come in and do the makeup for this on the movie. And he's like, sure, no problem. And it's so distinctive. When you watch that movie, you're like, man, look at that makeup. It is crazy. It's really impressive. So there's a lot of great little things about that movie that are just fun to know and find out as you watch.
You had written you for a couple years you did a Cineray article on the horrorvision.com, which everybody should check out.
Yes.
And
I need to start doing that again.
You do. But I knew the VHS box forever.
Yeah, me too.
And so this was the second half of that Violent Valentine, and I didn't really like Freeway, so I was like, oh God, please give me a winner. And Vamp, and I was like, okay, I really liked it. I got to tell you. And you know what I liked about it? And it was so funny because I was telling this to Kirsten, and like 2 breaks later, Joe Bob mentioned this, and I was like, oh my God. Richard Wenk, the writer-director, had just seen and was extremely influenced by Martin Scorsese's After Hours.
Oh yeah,
this is like totally a horror version of that in some ways, and I love that fucking movie. So, and also as soon as you go into the tunnels under New York and you got like neon shit here, like I'm in, I'm good. I want you own me. So, well, no, actually that's not true because Chud somehow breaks that. But yeah, I Missy, well, you watched it with Joe Bob, right? You liked it?
Yeah, it was pretty good. I had never seen that one before either, but I remembered the box from the video store growing up. I mean, I liked Freeway better of the 2 movies he showed that night, but I thought it was a pretty fun movie. I'm not super big on vamps. I can be picky.
Same.
But it wasn't bad.
But Grace Jones is just impressive. Like, she's just impressive.
Yes.
She's so fine. She's so talented.
It's just,
yeah. She's super creepy in that movie.
Yeah.
Pull up to the bumper.
You're probably one of the only persons here that did not get a chance to see that Joe Bob where he showed Vamp. This was both entertaining and somewhat like ingratiated me towards Grace Jones that he revealed this. He told a story about how while they were filming the movie Vamp, Grace Jones caused a halt in production for about, what was it, like 2 hours, where she demanded they find her vibrator.
Yes, Joe Bob did tell that story.
That's amazing.
Being that fucking big and that like non-caring about what anyone cares about you as a person, that you're like, all right, we cannot film anymore until my vibrator is found. Like, that's fucking excellent. Like, that is nuts. I love it.
She's like, I am
out
a
there.
supermodel and singer. This movie I'm doing as a favor to you guys.
Yeah.
Find my vibrator.
Find my vibrator.
Love her.
Oh, it's so entertaining.
It was a good flick. I liked it quite a bit. I would buy that movie. I will buy
Yeah,
that
that's worth
movie
a
eventually.
watch.
I would definitely. Missy, what do you got?
Um, Last night, apparently, I'm trying to channel Halloween in February because last night I watched Dark Harvest, and it's also on Prime. It's from 2023, and it's directed by David Slade, the guy who did 30 Days a Night
Oh,
and Hard Candy.
he's one
He
of the
did that too.
producers on Hannibal.
Is he? Okay. I haven't seen Hannibal in a long time. I don't remember it real well, other than Mads Mikkelsen is fucking awesome. But this movie, Dark Harvest, it's like every year on Halloween, they're in this weird harvest town that I think was supposed to be in Illinois. But all the teenage boys have to participate in the run. And they're like ritually hunting this monster called Sawtooth Jack. And it's like they promise that if you win, like the winner supposedly gets all this wealth and they they're going to be rich and they're going to get to do anything they want and leave the town. Like it's got real heavy. If anybody's read The Long Walk by Stephen King, it has heavy, like it reminds me of a cross between that and Pumpkinhead. I thought it was super fun. It's a really different take on folk horror. I mean, it's lower budget, so I mean, I'm pretty sure the blood and the monster effects and everything are CGI, and I don't love it. But the gore is still solid. Like you've got heads getting split in half, and it looks pretty gnarly. So I can forgive some CGI, but I thought it was fun. It's a fun monster movie, and it's super bloody, but it's also got that like The Long Walk or like Hunger Games. Those kind of were forced into this game for some fucked up reason, kind of theme.
Well, isn't it also based on a young adult novel series or young adult novel, horror novel?
Yeah, I actually just found that out. Well, right before we got online, I was looking something up, and it is based on some book. I've never read the book, or I had just seen this movie popping up in like some of my horror groups online, and I've meant to see it and kind of forgot about it and saw it pop up on Prime the other day.
It's Twilight fan fiction. I'm just kidding.
No, I mean, it's not. It's a pretty like it's a pretty good monster movie. Like it'll make it into my 31 days of horror probably, unless I run out of time, which I do.
This movie shares I don't know why they named it Dark Harvest because, well, I guess because the book is named that, but
well, and it's like this weird harvest town, and it like a bunch of shit happens in the cornfields and stuff.
Yeah, but the thing, so I saw this pop up, and you mentioned it, and I'm like, is this a fucking movie I used to see in Blockbuster and Hollywood Video that like was in those like shitty direct-to-video horror movies? And
okay.
And yes, there is one from 2004, and I mean, it is just the cheesiest look at like it's so.
Well, that's why you asked me if it was like if there were like 3 different movies with this title. I didn't know of any other ones except this one.
I mean, there's literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
okay,
6 movies with this title, and that shitty Dark. Well, I haven't seen it, so maybe it's amazing. I doubt it. You could just the video store thing. You'd go into a Hollywood or a Blockbuster. You'd go to the horror section, and there were the movies you could tell by looking at. You can't judge a book by its cover, but you could often judge a VHS.
No, you could.
Or a DVD by its cover, right? And not always, right?
I mean,
not always.
Well, no, you have a point because, well, not always, but you have a point. Like there was one of those like zombie dead movies that was out, and it had I think it had like Nick Cannon in it, and it had the video. The video had a lenticular cover, so if you moved it, it would go from this like zombie's face to the zombie vomiting. And I was like, this is trash. Like, you just knew. But like, I think I remember hearing about this, and I saw the trailer for it like months ago, and I thought, oh, that looks kind of good. But I think I was hesitant. I'm glad hearing from you, Missy, that it's good, because I saw that
I
it
think
hit
you'll like
Shutter, it
because you
hit
like a
Prime the
lot
other
of
day,
the.
and I was like, ooh, that looks good. But
Mhm.
I was hesitant because I knew it was a young adult novel, and like having heard about how bad scary stories to tell in the dark
Oh,
is
that
for
was.
people.
But the problem with scary stories to tell in the dark is that a generation of horror fans grew up loving those books and that art. Like it deeply influenced a lot of horror fans, including myself. I hated that movie, but this was fun. Um, and apparently there are 7 movies with this title. So you're looking for the one from 2023 by David Slade, and it's on Prime right now for free.
The novel, by the way, was written by
Stephanie Meyer.
No.
Stephanie Meyer.
Nope.
Terrible.
Norman Partridge, who interestingly enough is known for The Crow Wicked Prayer in 2005 and Dark Harvest in
Ooh.
2023. And I believe
That's a really
Not
bad
selling this
Crow.
movie.
No, that's the Crow movie with Edward Furlong and Tara Reid.
Yes.
And
oh my God.
it's horrible. It's so bad.
Oh.
Hey, that fucking DVD is out of print. So if you do see it, just buy it anyway for the
Okay.
I have it.
Okay, no problem.
And then just send
David
it to Tori's
Boreanaz
address.
is in that one.
That dude.
Yeah, and he's not a selling point for me. I think he can't act his way out of a paper bag.
Edward Furlong, like circa that year, I'm all about it because I want to see how bad it is, you know? Like
it's bad. And I love Crow stories.
He's not looking too good in that cover. He's looking a little tired. He's looking like a 45-year-old, 25-year-old.
Yeah, he looks rough. He looks rough.
So for my last one, last night I watched Moon Garden.
Oh, I'm jealous.
I've been waiting for this for a while, and I think everybody here will really fucking like this, but it is so Ray and I have talked, well, really Ray has talked extensively about movies in the 80s and how children were actually like in jeopardy, and there's just like a certain tone that goes along with that. This movie has that. This movie reminded me a lot of, man, like Labyrinth or sorry, bear with me.
The scary parts of Neverending Story.
The Neverending Story
on Instagram, Return to Oz as well.
Yes, there you go. I couldn't remember. Yeah. It has that element, but also the way it's shot, it reminds me a lot visually of Company of Wolves.
Ooh.
A lot. There's no werewolves in this or anything.
The collective.
Yeah, but it.
All right, get your tongue out of my ear. I'm convinced.
It is very similar, and it just really works, and it's very harrowing, and man, the setup is just heartbreaking. And then 5-year-old girl, and the actress she's fucking outstanding. It's her first movie. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Like for a 5-year-old? I mean, maybe she's not 5, but if she's not a day older than like fucking 7 for sure. I mean, she is young, and she does such a fucking good job just really relaying the Haven Lee Harris is the actress's name. Man, it's, there's like that. My mind goes to Primus immediately, like that kind of like nuts and bolts industrial stop motion, weird 90s kind of. It doesn't feel 90s at all, but it's horror in the way that Neverending Story or Labyrinth, like in the way that those are horror, and it has a timeless quality to it. So Yeah, that's
Oh man, I'm
Gardens.
jealous just because this came out. I feel like last summer, and I wanted to go see it, and the only place that was available to see it was what's that theater off of Santa Monica Boulevard, right by the freeway there.
Oh
It's
yeah,
right
it's
by
right by my work.
Family.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great theater, but like I just could not find the time to get there and see it. And then after like I think a week and a half, it was gone, or like 2 weeks, it was gone. I was like, shit. And there was fucking nowhere else in LA that was showing it, and I was so disappointed. And I was like, God damn it. And I guess I'll have to see it when it comes out in streaming. But I saw the trailer for it and I was like, that looks amazing.
Yeah, I feel like I saw the trailer like a year ago, and I had it was like, oh my God, I can't wait to see this, and then eventually forgot about it. And it
Maybe
popped
it
up.
was February then. It was a while back.
I feel like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. It was. So something like that, February maybe. You're right.
Okay, for the Horror Vision horror podcast, my name is Sean.
I'm Missy.
I'm Ray.
Sounds like someone did cut off the balls. And I'm Tori.
A pandemic of violence floods the streets of major cities as cases of the media-dubbed murder virus, MV20 soar, causing those infected to go on killing sprees. Caught in the middle, police detective Angela Miller finds her only trustworthy ally in the self-proclaimed psychic PI, Gerald Henry. As the two try to navigate the violence, they are drawn into New Age guru Abramelin Harvest's plot to heal the planet. Harvest's missive:
the world is sick, and humanity is the infection.
The cure: murder. From the twisted mind of Sean C. Baker, author of A Collection of Desires and Shadowplay in Book 1, Kim and Jesse, comes his most vicious novel yet, Murder Virus.